Hi, I'm Clyde Lewis, and welcome to Ground Zero Behind the Scenes. It is a Friday, it's the end of the week, and a lot of things are coming into my studios by email, and a lot of people are talking to me about some strange activity going on in Oregon, around the country, and they want me to comment on it. And I was saying, well, this is all a part of what I call the training that they're doing to prepare for something that may be going on in the country. And I say, eventually they may have to overturn posse comitatus if necessary to make this all go down. And that's a militarized police force, the teaming up of several other police forces and military organizations such as Canada, Russia. We've heard all of this going on. It's confusing. But see, I don't know what I need to do to get people out of their coma and understand that this is happening. Now people say, well, they need to train. Yeah, of course they do. They can train in remote areas, but they don't need to train in residential areas, nor do they train in the middle of the city where people are worried that we may be under attack by terrorists. It's threatening enough and frightening enough to see these things go down. And I really don't think, or maybe they do know, that this is a psychological operation. It's a psychological threat to people's well-being when they see black helicopters in the cities and when they see armored carrier personnel vehicles in the cities, and also armed guards wearing digital camouflage walking the streets without announcement. For example, I want to show you something. There was a memo that was sent out by the Bureau of Police, and Sam Adams, of course, signed off on this. And what it was there was going to be a tactical team training near the neighborhood of about 152nd, which is a beautiful neighborhood up on the west side, or actually the east side of town, near Gresham area. And they were going to do this type of tactical training with CERT teams and several negotiations team. They were also going to fire ordnance. And they also tell people, don't be alarmed if you see armored trucks or personnel vehicles coming through the area. Well, look, I don't care who you are, I don't care what you think, but even if a memo is sent out, you still are alarmed and concerned when you see armored carrier vehicles that look like militarized vehicles moving through your neighborhood. Now, they can always do it in some remote area in the desert or in a field or in the forest, but no, they have to do it in a neighborhood. Now, why is that? Because they're training to go from door to door to do all kinds of things that, heck, I don't know what policies they're going to be trying to implement, but when you have executive orders that are in the works, and you have the NDAA in the works, and you have all these other things going on, it makes you wonder exactly why they're doing this. So this is Portland, Oregon, okay? They issue a memo saying that they're going to do this tactical training. Now, if you take a look here, this is a black helicopter, a Chinook helicopter. It's hovering over an elementary school in Vancouver. I received at least 3 or 4 pictures of this helicopter moving about throughout the entire area. Now, what were they doing in Vancouver at the time that they had to hover over a school and create a threatening image in the skies above Vancouver? You see, I don't know if they, like I said, I don't know if they know or they do know what kind of psychological threat they're posing on people by doing these drills right in broad daylight, right in front of people who are citizenry. I mean, it just tells me that they want us to be used to the idea of having black helicopters in the sky and armed personnel walking the streets in your neighborhood. Here's another example. This, Lincoln City, Oregon. They were doing a tactical training exercise at a hospital there in Lincoln City. They sent out a memo stating they were going to do so, but to people who wouldn't know, who didn't know, they were wondering, what is going on at this hospital in Lincoln City? Why is it happening? I even had a former Lincoln City councilman tell me that he felt that it was disturbing that they had guard troops moving about with guns, loaded ammunition through Lincoln City on that day. Now, I know that we have the UN summit happening in June where they're going to be putting together the framework for this new world order they want to impose with global sustainability. Now, that's June 20th. However, there are 2 things happening in the United States, both the NATO summit in Chicago and the Bilderberg meeting in Virginia. I received some photos today in Virginia Beach showing some very peculiar vehicles. Take a look at these vehicles. These are not marked militarily. They're green, which look military, but they're not. They don't have a military insignia on them, so they could be anyone's vehicle. But take a look. They are vehicles to do what? They are vehicles to take people and cage them and transport them somewhere. These are what these vehicles are for. They are there to incarcerate and take someone to perhaps a camp or perhaps a mass prison area where they can hold people or holding area, and they're prepared. What are they prepared for here? I mean, to transport all these people? Are there going to be that many protests where they need at least 3 or 4 trucks all lined up, sitting there waiting to be used? This is what is threatening, and this is why people question the idea that this is all about protecting, all about preparing. It's all about incarceration. It's all about overturning posse comitatus, and that's why I'm saying, where's the posse comitosis? People are comatose about this stuff. They need to wake up and see that these vehicles are here. A memo has been sent out to some of the hotels in Chicago. It says, as you may know, NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, will be holding meetings in Chicago on Sunday, May 20th and Monday, the 21st, 2012. It is classified by the government as a national special security event. While the meetings will take place on Sunday and Monday, visitors and attendees will undoubtedly be arriving every day that week. We may expect a high level of activity and traffic downtown and around neighborhoods during this time. Given that we live in a neighborhood surrounded by buildings with short-term leases and hotels, and the level of security in this area may be substantial, there will be times when access to surrounding streets are blocked while motorcades arrive or depart from these areas. There may also be times when we are asked for identification when entering an area. As a result, you should carry identification that verifies your residency at the Chandler. If you use the Chandler as your second home and your primary address is different, you may want to get a state of Illinois ID card or carry another document like a utility bill that is addressed to yourself at the Chandler, or a lease if you are a renter. You have to carry documents now because these idiots are coming into Chicago. And not only that, think of the terror that's going on with people who have to sit in their buildings and watch these drills go on where black helicopters are flying within face distance of these people sitting in their offices. Here's some footage that you're going to look at right now. Let's show this footage. Helicopters. Look how close they're coming to the buildings. And look how many there are. There's several helicopters, 3 or 4, flying in formation over Chicago. This doesn't look threatening. This doesn't look like a police state.
And here we are again. We're back for the third approach over the Citadel building, and there are 2 of them in the view here, but there's a third one that's coming shortly, I think, because I can hear it. And again, they're hovering very close. There's a third one just out of the camera shot, and you can feel the window rattling again from the thrust of the helicopter. There's the third one right there. The second one's behind the building. And now the second one is moving off to the east. And there's the third one coming out from behind the building. And now they're taking off as well. Told it's a training exercise and that they met with residents of the buildings, or tenants of the buildings, earlier today.
What I want is somebody to try and convince me that this is just training. I want somebody to convince me that this is not the makings of a police state, that they're not desensitizing us to the possibility of black helicopters in our major cities, or surveillance with satellites, or drones flying in our neighborhoods, making sure that we keep the peace, whatever the peace is now. We have to overcompensate for these morons that are coming from all over the world to try and negotiate and bring about the New World Order. I say more people need to get angry, and they need to watch these and realize, yes, you feel threatened, you may be frightened, but you need to fight. You need to say something. Call your mayors, call your congressmen, tell them that you don't like the urban training, that it's psychologically wrong and it drives you crazy, because I look at this and I just wonder, where is my country? Where is it gone? I'm Clyde Lewis, and this is Ground Zero Behind the Scenes.